All right, welcome to Speak for Yourself. I am Jason Whitlock. That is Marcellus Wiley. That dude.
Yes, sir.
Coming up, we'll tell you if Le'Veon Bell is trying to build an NFL super team.
And if there's any chance LeBron James already wants out of L.A. But we start every day with a Whitlock, so hit him, big dog.
Oh, man, Scripture says the sins of the father shall be visited upon the son.
Wow.
What is happening to Kyler Murray in the lead up to the NFL draft is biblical. Kevin Murray's sins are haunting his Heisman Trophy winning son. Yesterday, Matt Lombardo, a respected NFL writer, reported that an NFL coach and scout supported Charlie Casserly's assessment of Kyler Murray's aloof, disconcerting, and immature interview performance at the scouting combine. Lombardo quoted an anonymous coach as saying this about Casserly's report on the NFL Network. That's fairly accurate, maybe to the extreme. It might be a little overblown, but there's definitely some truth there. Also yesterday, Murray's agent, Eric Burkhart, aggressively defended his client and viciously attacked Casserly. Speaking to Pro Football Talk, Burkhart blasted Casserly saying, "So what do I think about an agenda-driven analyst who's never once even talked to Kyler or any of his coaches or teammates? I think it's disgusting and embarrassing, and Casserly should be ashamed of himself." Oh, it's so disgusting and embarrassing that Casserly repeated how Murray came off to a handful of NFL scouts and executives. You don't need to talk to Murray's teammates or coaches or even Kyler to report on how some executives perceive Murray at the combine. Murray's teammates and coaches and Kyler can't tell you how he was perceived by NFL people. But I understand why Burkhart doesn't want his client analyzed and criticized. Murray's projected to be the #1 pick. Analysis can't help Murray right now. But as journalists, opinionists, and sports fans, we should delight in hearing any nugget of information that gives us insight into a quarterback who started for just 1 year in college. I've got a nugget I'd like to share. The reason Kyler's personality, character, and work habits are being heavily scrutinized and questioned is because Kyler's dad is such an enormous part of the Kyler Murray equation. Kevin Murray has a history. He was a two-time All-American quarterback at Texas A&M and a highly sought Major League Baseball prospect. The Milwaukee Brewers sued Kevin for reneging on his baseball signing bonus. Kevin declared for the 1987 NFL Draft after his junior year and after the NCAA accused A&M boosters and head coach Jackie Sherrill of providing Kevin with a car and cash. Murray went undrafted through 12 rounds. Some say it was because of a nagging ankle injury. Others say Murray's attitude cost him. In 1987, the Dallas Morning News published a story that stated the director of the National Scouting Combine said Kevin Murray was, quote, a little arrogant, didn't always go to school, his work habits are not good, and he's moody. These are the sins of Kyler's father. Kevin Murray had the talent to play in the NFL and MLB. He played in neither. He could have been a Heisman Trophy winner like his son. Instead, he foolishly quit college football and declared for a draft that didn't want him. You realize Kyler Murray quit at Texas A&M after head coach Kevin Sumlin chose Murray over Kyle Allen. You know, Kyler reneged on his commitment to the Oakland Athletics. Kyler has some Kevin in him. Kyler Murray might become an NFL superstar quarterback, but no one is being unfair by raising questions about how he conducted himself at the NFL Combine. Quarterbacks get roasted at this time of the year. It's the price of all the attention and fame. Legendary Steelers coach Chuck Noll admitted he passed on drafting Dan Marino in 1983 because of rumors about Marino and drugs. You want to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, your character's going to be questioned. If you're not man enough to handle it, go play baseball. All right, joining the desk now, a couple of former Pro Bowlers, D'Angelo Hall and DeQuell Jackson. Marcellus, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
Fair to scrutinize Kyler Murray's character?
It's the norm, so we accept it as fair. It's the process. What do? You look at a prospect and you tear them apart, and then you piece that puzzle back together and see what you got after that process. It's interesting at the combine, you have to win the performance on the field in terms of measurables, and you have to win it in the classroom, which is a subjective experience. And I guess evaluators are sitting there looking at us as prospects saying, damn, if you can't just win this character performance, we don't care if it's authentic or not, because a lot of players walk into that room based on draft position, based on their own identity, and say either I'm going to perform or I'm just going to be me. And I think as an evaluator, sometimes they make the wrong assessment of someone's character based on performance. Shake their hand, look them in the eye. Yes, sir, no, sir. I guess if I'm evaluating, you can't even do that, then damn, I can imagine what you're going to be like once you get comfortable with all this money. The crazy thing is there's some cautionary tales out there, and I'll highlight two. One that had issues on the field and one that had issues in the locker room that checked all the boxes, that won the performance in the room. One by the name of Mark Sanchez. I remember he was a second rounder. People were like, then he won the room, and he won the room, and he became the 5th overall pick. How did that play out necessarily on the field? Now let's talk about somebody who did well on the field and checked all the boxes, but kind of lost the locker room, Russell Wilson. A lot of guys in that locker room had issues and was upset with Russell Wilson to the point they had to ship the talent away so that Russell could be the true leader of that team. Just cautionary tales out there. If you don't check all the boxes, it's not the biggest issue in the world. There's Aaron Rodgers of the world and some other greats who don't check all the boxes, but still go out there and ball out.
When you think about Kyler Murray, think about where he came from. He's the son of a Major League Baseball player, right?
Mm-hmm. No. So, what prospect?
Whoa. Yeah.
Okay.
He got drafted, though.
All right,
yeah, he was
drafted.
Okay.
He got drafted, though.
All right. He won, what, 3 or 4 state titles in high school?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Drafted, right? Mm-hmm. He was drafted, got a lot of money.
Give me that.
So this isn't a kid who's been struggling and just kind of hanging on, and now he's finally at this draft process, so he feels like, man, you know, I remember going through that draft process. And when I tell you I won an Oscar because I went in there and I sold.
Absolutely.
I had the performance of my life to every team.
Right.
Because I didn't know where I was going to go. I could have went in the middle of the second round. I could have been a top 5 pick. I ended up falling right at 8. And I can remember Emmett Thomas, a guy you know, just retired, Hall of Fame DB coach. Well, he's a Hall of Famer as a DB, but was my DB coach. He said, man, you put on the best performance of your life because you fooled me. Because once I got in that building, I became who I was. Yeah. But throughout the interview process, I had to kind of put on the front. Right. Because I didn't want everybody to know just exactly who I was. With Kyler, though, he's had money. He's not just getting money. He just gave back $4.5 million to get drafted. Okay. So this is a kid who's already had the fame, okay? He has a Heisman Trophy. So for me to believe that a team picking in the bottom of that first round asked to interview him, to think he's not going to walk in there and feel as though, man, I'm going to go through the motions on this thing. And that's kind of how I feel. I don't feel like this kid that's really who he is. But I do feel like he's went through some of the motions and been in some of those interviews, because we've all been there. Yeah. I felt like, man, I want to go through the motions, but I haven't, because I wasn't at that level. This kid's at that level, right or wrong. I'm not saying it's right or wrong with, but I'm just saying maybe that's what's going into his head.
Before you respond, I want to say, I think one of the things you did, though, was you showed respect for the game. And that's where, play the game to show respect for the game. Don't come into the game arrogant. This game will.
But a lot of these kids don't understand that. Like my biggest hang up with Josh Rosen. Yeah. I thought he could be a really good player, but what was rubbing me so wrong through his whole draft process, and especially right after the draft, was he was so busy worried about everybody else instead of himself.
I think you guys are missing the bigger point here.
Oh.
The fact that a guy like Kyler Murray, you know, he's been in the shadows of his father, and this failed notion that because his father flamed out, that he's going to flame out. Listen, I come from my father, he's a recovering drug addict, right? And he played football a little bit, but when I played the game, that gave me motivation not to follow my father's footsteps, so I can dispel that notion of the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. So the fact that this guy has lived in this environment, has taken on the burden of being his father's son, and what's the coincidence that he's right back in the same position as his father? You don't think this guy is ready for this challenge? He's been under this pressure his entire life. And for these comments to come out, about his work ethic, and he's not committed. For a guy to play 2 sports, he's committed. We all know how hard it is to be successful in college and in the NFL.
One.
I didn't have energy to do anything else. But he has energy to do 2 sports and be successful at both. And this false sense of notion that he can't compete and he's not working hard is foolish.
Well, you had a great rookie performance yesterday. This is even better right now. You done blew my mind. But D'Angelo, so did you. Both of y'all have made excellent points because
You're just getting used to me, huh?
I take you for granted. I take you for granted.
I hate this
I deal
relationship.
with you every
Hate this
day.
relationship.
But D'Angelo, your point that I had not thought of was that if somebody below the 2nd or 3rd pick is interviewing him, he don't want to go there anyway, and so he may have given them reasons. Hey, I'm not even.
And who was in that room? Like, you walk into a room, and it's probably 15 to 20 people in that room. You might recognize the head coach. You might recognize the general manager or president.
Yeah.
You might even recognize your O coordinator, D coordinator.
Right.
But the rest of the 12 to 15 guys, maybe you didn't look them in the eyes when you shook their hand.
Right,
Yeah, move,
right.
man.
Maybe
Trying
you
to get
were
the
too
process
busy trying
rolling.
to talk to somebody else. Or maybe you kind of was just impressed or infatuated with a Belichick, so you didn't spend a lot of time talking to Josh McDaniels. And so that gets reiterated as, well, he really didn't look me in the eyes when I talked to him or da-da-da-da. It's just a lot goes on in that room, and I would hate for those 15 minutes in that room to define what this young man is presented to be, because I haven't met him, and I would like to save judgment for myself, because some people you meet, you have a great rapport with, and some people just rub you the wrong way.
Other point you made earlier, he was probably rehearsed, and he probably didn't, like you mentioned, you know what, this team probably won't draft me.
Yeah.
Let me go in with a rehearsed recital, and it probably came off as arrogant, or some guy didn't appreciate it because he felt like Kyler Murray should be appreciative to be in my room talking to me and all my colleagues to be drafted into the National Football League.
Marcellus, we know where DeQuell is at,
Yeah.
and I know this is your funny bone issue. Kevin Murray's history, should it play any role in the evaluation of Kyler Murray?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. One, we could just use history as a teaching tool to looking at a second-generation athlete and seeing so many success stories. I mean, it's success in excess in terms of these names that you got to start to pause when you say, okay, your father, is this a replica or not? Peyton Manning, like from Archie Manning to a Peyton Manning. Look how the second generation takes the torch, takes the baton, and goes even farther. Let's go with Steph Curry, and respect to his father, but he did more. He's doing more. Yep. Ken Griffey Jr. versus Senior. Barry Bonds, Klay Thompson.
Give me Kobe. That's my guy.
Okay, Kobe.
Kobe is a better analogy.
I know. Kobe is a way better analogy.
He was building
they were pretty good.
They actually played pro.
Yeah, they were really good.
But
so
we get your point.
Yeah. So respect to the guys who, Daddy, I get it. You got a taste of it. But now I'm about to eat it all up. And I just don't think that you will look at the evaluation of his father. If anything, me being a father, me being a guy who made it there, I'm going to tell my son, there are hurdles in the path, and we're not going to hop over them. People always think you got to hop over your hurdles. No, you got to run over them hurdles. True track analogy there. Run through those things, and this is what he's teaching them. I think that Kevin Murray is telling Kyler Murray exactly what he needs to do and look out for the landmines. I respect it.
I mean, I think you have to, at some point, it has to factor in, you have to factor in what Kyler, what Kevin has done into what Kyler could potentially do or who he could eventually become. I'm not saying you have to take it for gospel, but you have to know. It's just about doing your research. I'm not drafting Kyler Murray if I don't know the entire story of Kevin and his background, because I know who is Kyler going to be listening to throughout this whole process.
Maybe I'm a little sensitive because I'm
I'm
a
not.
father, but there's no way Kevin Murray has not groomed his son for this moment.
To be better
There's
and to
no
be
way
greater
he
than
has
him.
not
Absolutely.
groomed his son to get through this moment. And let's face it, if he wasn't ready for the pressure, he could have gone and been an accountant. But instead, he wants the pressure of playing football. He wants the pressure of being great enough to be drafted to play baseball. So this kid is groomed. This is minor. This is minor to what he's going to have to deal with if he's potentially number one overall draft.
This is my only thing to quell. Like, at the end of the day, when you do positive things, wouldn't you like for people to talk about that when they're speaking about your son?
At least respect it, yes, definitely.
Or even say when they're talking about your legacy and then your son. Wouldn't you like them to somehow mention that? It's the same thing that happens whether it's positive or negative. At some point, that's going to be thrown into the conversation.
I agree.
Particularly when the father is playing a role in this draft process. And again, he had the Dan Patrick interview where basically Dan Patrick started having to question the father because Kyler Murray wouldn't even basically answer the question without looking at
But
the
he had two professions in the balance that is historic, unprecedented. He had a top 10 pick in one in baseball and potentially number 1 overall in football. When you're having the weight of 2 worlds on your shoulders, it's okay to look at your father through that process. Why are we going to damn someone who's looking at guidance and support in that moment and saying, oh, you're immature, or you're not ready, or you're despondent? No, actually, I have so much that I'm dealing with that no other human being has ever faced. Is it okay to look at my father?
Well, Marcel, obviously, you guys are all fathers.
Yeah.
You raise a child to push him out of the nest.
No, I don't. I mean, I know that's a cliche. No, I don't. Because wherever my son goes, I'm right there with you. But I'm not flying for you. But you know what? I'm right there with you. I don't like that notion, it's 18, your birth certificate. Oh, you're 18? Bye. 21? Gone, bye. Like, your son is dealing with something that no one on this planet has ever dealt with.
And
you're going to be like,
side.
bye. No, why would you want to push him out the nest?
It's not about bye. It's about let me take a couple of steps back. And
his commitment shows that he's already flying.
He's by his side for a reason because he doesn't want to see his son follow his same footsteps. So the guy, and it's a fair assessment to say, hey, let's look into your father's background. It's rightfully so. But this kid has dealt with this all of his life. He's been in the shadows of his father all of his life. Quarterback at Texas A&M. The guy is essentially much better than his father. I don't have a problem with his father being right by his side. Either you love it or you hate it. You look at the LeVar Ball situation. You either love or hate his father, but we tend to love his son because he doesn't come off.
Do you know how many fathers that are worse than Kevin Murray that have great players? I don't even want to call the player out. But Daddy wasn't even there. That's worse than this. Or Daddy was there in a bad influence. Like, just talk to guys in the locker room, man. They've been dealing with hell forever.
Here's something interesting. Studies show that security systems deter burglars. It's a fact. But there's still a burglary every 8 seconds in America. How? Well, think about it. Do burglars give up just because some houses have security systems? Of course not. They just find a house that isn't protected. That's why securing your home is truly a necessity. So let me recommend this brilliant security system built by my friends at SimpliSafe. SimpliSafe believes fear has no place in a place like home, so they made their system ridiculously smart. SimpliSafe sensors will protect every point of access to your home. Doors, windows, garage, you name it. If a burglar even tries to break in, an ear-shattering siren will let them know the police are already on the way. Best of all, SimpliSafe's 24-hour monitoring is just $14.99 a month, and they'll never lock you in a long-term contract. More than 3 billion people already know it feels good to fear less with SimpliSafe. So go with the only home security I trust, SimpliSafe, by going to simplisafe.com/speak. Go today and get free shipping and a 60-day money-back guarantee. That's SimpliSafe, SimpliSafe.com/speak for the home security I trust, simplisafe.com/speak. We're joined now by Carolina Panthers wide receiver, former Michigan Wolverine wide receiver, Devin Funches. Devin, welcome to the show.
Yeah, man. You're from Detroit, but you in L.A. What brings you out here, big dog?
Just out here enjoying the sun, checking out the scenery and all that with my little brother.
Hey, bro, this is Pac territory. You're not gonna respect that?
Yeah. Me and Biggie, we got the same birthday, so it's just.
That's all that is.
Yeah,
that's everybody let you know you're on the west side, homie.
I understand that. It's all good. It's all good. That's all love.
I'm gonna say Tupac, Biggie, or T Grizzly. Come on, Detroit, show some love.
It's all love. Everybody know I show love to the city.
Oh man, well, I can't. What's the cat's name in Detroit that runs Detroit?
Which one?
The dude, the rapper that runs Detroit.
You talking about Trick?
Yes.
Trick.
We going there.
Trick.
Anyway, go ahead.
There it is. All right, man. Look, Cam Newton obviously had a shoulder injury, surgery. You think it was a mistake or he should have shut it down earlier?
That's correct. He a soldier. Why you gonna shut your shoulder down? Everybody know Cam to be that playmaker, and come game day, you know he gonna do what we supposed to do.
But he's the same guy that also couldn't throw Hail Marys. They were taking him out the game. So if he's limited in that capacity, why not shut down your franchise quarterback?
He got us there. You look at every year since he's been in the league, you can't. He's battling injuries, 100% injury rate. So we're going to have to keep fighting, and we're going to have to go try to get this W at the end of the day.
How bad was it? Like, I mean, obviously as a teammate, you got to go behind the veil. How limited was he?
It was kind of different dealing with it. I mean, he never showed, so it was he's a very secretive person, so he kind of kept it to himself. But when we were out there, we just throwing, and then.
The ball didn't feel different?
You know, I mean, coming from rookie year, yeah, and then from last year, you know, you had to get the surgery, so it was kind of different. The speed took off a little bit, but he's still a soldier, and he's still gonna get it done.
Devin, we sit here in the media virtually every day during the NFL season. Cam needs to quit running so much. Cam needs to quit running so much. He's gonna be 30 years old, second time with a shoulder injury. When we say Cam needs to quit running so much, how does that sound to you and/or Cam, just guys on that team?
It frustrates me personally because that's a part of his game. So he gonna tell him not to play his game. So that's what mainly frustrates me of you telling him not to play his game. That's like telling Kobe not to shoot the ball.
But again, at 30, shouldn't he back off? I mean, it's dangerous out there. Shouldn't he back off a little bit?
Did you tell Kobe to stop shooting the ball?
I did. I did. And he kept missing them at the end. I was like, come on, man, enough shots.
Come on now. Cam is one of the greatest dual threat quarterbacks to play the game. You gonna tell him to stop playing?
Well, you guys, well, I should say Carolina Panthers, your free agent, seem to be interested in Antonio Brown. Cam and Antonio Brown, you think his antics, you think his personality would fit in Carolina?
I think everything will fit. He got the drip. He got the work ethic. He got everything that a team needs, not just Carolina, everybody else too. So I think wherever he goes, I think they're gonna get a blessing and a hard worker.
How about a guy that needs the ball that much, though, and is pretty vocal about it? Is that the right fit for Cam, a guy that he would have to target excessively?
You just have to wait and see. If AB goes there, you got to wait and see. If AB goes somewhere else, you got to wait and see. I believe when everything unravels, if this situation does happen, I think it'll be a good situation because at the end of the day, we're looking for W's. We don't care about all that other stuff.
All right, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm a little bit friendly with Christian McCaffrey, and so I'm just gonna keep. I love the kid, but I gotta be honest. It blows my mind to see him be this effective as a running back.
Right.
I buy into the stereotype to some degree. Love the kid. We chat a little bit over DM and Twitter. Does it ever shock you as a player that Christian McCaffrey this effective as a running back in the NFL?
Because he played on the West Coast, then the Pac-12 and all that stuff, so we really couldn't see when he first got there because of all the rules that they had with the quarter system. So we couldn't really tell until camp. And then our first week seeing him in camp, the kid works hard. And that's like my real little brother. He works so hard that he gonna prove everybody wrong. He got a real chip on his shoulder. So see Mac in the league for however long he gonna play, he would be one of the dominating running backs in the league.
Now, there was never an issue with his complexion, you know, people getting
No,
fooled by that.
I'm gonna tell you, I'll be
Tell
honest.
it real, because I know.
I told him the first time, I said, you a bad white boy. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I don't look at color, but you a bad white boy.
That kind of wiggle.
Hey, I ain't never seen nothing like it, but when they came out with a video of his feet, he was doing the ladder drills when he first, I was like, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen nothing like it, but like I told him, when I don't see color, we gonna go out here and rock.
Devin, good luck to you this offseason. We got a little present here for you, a little shirt.
A little better T-shirt than that one on the West Coast.
Okay.
What you rock.
Turn it around. Yeah, turn
I got you.
Right,
I'm gonna rock it.
Good luck this offseason.
Appreciate that.
Is the Wolverines gonna be better this year?
We're gonna have to. We got at that last game. We're gonna have to figure that out this year.
There you go.
All right, welcome back. Whitlock and Wiley, D'Angelo Hall, and DeQuell Jackson are back. Let's move to Le'Veon Bell, who doesn't know where he'll be playing next year, but is already trying to find guys to play with. Bell tweeted at other soon-to-be free agents like Earl Thomas, Tyrann Mathieu, and Landon Collins, asking, quote, where y'all trying to go? Hit my line. Jet safety Jamal Adams responded saying Bell is trying to, quote, create a Golden State squad in the NFL. The question here is, does Le'Veon look a little foolish here? He looks a little thirsty, I think, a little attention star. Yeah. And they're definitely not putting super teams together in the NFL. That ain't happening.
Nah, it's not happening, and this is not where you start if you're going to say this is super team. Like the running back and safety position. That ain't the super team. Like, you ain't building it from that part.
Tweeted Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly. Now we
Patrick
talking
Mahomes.
somebody like that. This is just boredom on Twitter, man. We all been there before. Scroll up, man. Like, don't read into this. Don't give this substance. It's just a guy who's bored. He didn't have a job last year, his own doing. He didn't want to sign it. We don't know where he's going this year, and I just don't think any super team was created.
But how cool would that be? How cool would it be if guys kind of said, you know what, we all right, instead of the $15 million, let me go ahead and make about 10. And let me partner that with another guy who's going to make, instead of 15, going to make about 10. And then we get 3 guys instead of the 2 guys we probably would have had. Man, that would be pretty cool to see. I don't think it should happen or could happen in the NFL because without the guaranteed contracts, it's like, look, I got to hit him for all I can hit him for right now. It's not where basketball where I can play 5 years
This
and
ain't
I know
guaranteed.
at some point I'm going to get another deal or I'm going to get all of that. So it would be tough because financially, like I said, with the guaranteed contracts, every NFL player is trying to get the most they can get and maximize their dollar value that particular day. But, man, if these dudes did team up,
what?
I would pay. I would
What
watch it.
dudes?
I would watch
What
it.
dudes? Le'Veon and Tyrann Mathieu?
I mean, it's got to be a little more than that. Bro. I'm just saying. We need a quarterback in the equation too, don't we?
Yeah, listen, I love you and I love my teammates, but when it's time to get mine, I'm trying to get mine.
All of it. All of it.
Just, I'm just saying. But I agree with you. He's bored. Clearly he's trying to get his name back in the headway. Remember me, the guy who was,
who started this?
Who started the Steelers? I'm productive.
And this is the thanks I get.
I started
Remember
this.
me,
Right before free agency, too.
But this super team is no, it's not going to happen. NFL players don't have the leverage. You have to go wherever teams want you to go. You just get to choose from that small body of teams that may want you.
I'll just say that you say scroll up. I think there is something to read into this, though. Because let's say if Le'Veon Bell was confident of where he was going and that somebody was fitting to make it rain on him.
Okay.
I don't know if he's even flirting around with this.
So he knows where he's going. And
No.
Oh, he doesn't.
I don't think he's as sure. I think
gotcha.
that big payday that he thought was coming may be less secure than what he thought at this point, and that's why he's flirting around.
So now he's just trying to win.
Yeah.
Win with what? Win with like.
I mean, just saying. He just throwing it out there.
Again, I'm not saying this is serious, but I do think it's an indication into his mindset that he doesn't have this giant payday sitting out there from the Colts.
I don't see.
I
don't see
So
that.
you're saying basically he's probably won't get what he held out for, but he's willing to take what the team
less.
is willing to offer him.
But how
Because
is
he
that
misses the
hooked
game
on
when
a
he's
better
bored.
team?
Eric Weddle? Like, okay,
Well,
that sounds
these-
good.
yeah.
How is that hooked on
Those
Eric Weddle?
He just added them. He just added
those
them.
people.
They don't count.
Those people are irrelevant.
Okay.
Just the fact that he's putting this tweet into the air, it shows a lack of confidence. If he knew, because again, when you Le'Veon Bell and free agency comes, so trust me, when the free agency stuff really started, like when Deion was on the market, he knew that there was going to be a big, gigantic payday somewhere.
I think he does as well. It's just a sign of the times. Look, when Kanye got an album coming out, guess what happens the week before? He gonna spaz, right? And then he knows this is free agency starting this week. Let me get, like you said, name out there. Let me just throw some little thirst out there. You could call it thirst. I just say that's how they message now. That's how they get their name on the billboard.
Let's face it, he may miss football. He wants to get back into play football. He misses it that much that he's game planning. I need to get my name back in people's mouths, have us talking about it here on the panel. Before the money comes. And you know what? He's willing to.
Y'all know better than I do. But again, wouldn't a guy, if you are the major target of free agency, isn't your deal coming day one and you probably at this point already know?
You know what, to that point, because somebody did get signed like right after the highest paid, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Boy, I tell you, talk about tread lightly. You talk about don't do a damn thing. I mean, you are not trying to go on Twitter, in the streets. You sleeping all day, 25 hours a day. I give you some of that, but it's a different era. Maybe they doing something different. I don't know.
Yeah, no, deals are normally done already.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're that top guy. You know where you're going. Your agent has already worked it out. They just waiting to drop that as soon as, all right, the deadline hits. All right, we can release it.
Yep.
So you're right. So with him putting this out there, maybe he hadn't quite got the suitors he thought he was initially going to get, and he's just putting it out there.
That's my point.
He putting it out there in the
I get it.
spirit like, hey,
That
I can be persuaded.
and let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you who messed up his money. The dude out here in Los Angeles.
Bunches?
No, the running back for the Los Angeles Rams.
Having
Why?
knee
'Cause
problems.
the way he
Todd
played?
Gurley,
Getting
the
hurt.
playoff run. If you don't think people are saying, man, y'all gave that running
good
back
point.
all that money, and he got nothing
he
out of
got
the
hurt.
playoff.
Yeah.
And C.J. Anderson, the bowling ball was out there tilting. Whoa, you going deep with this.
Yeah, I didn't
Off
think
of a
about that.
simple tweet.
You don't do
Thirst
it.
is real. Right. Obey your
Playing the
thirst.
game too long, man. You married now. You read into every tweet, every text. Joined now by a couple of NBA champions, Steven Jackson and Brian Scalabrine. Let's move to the NBA. Well, LeBron passed Michael Jordan for fourth on the all-time scoring list last night, but there wasn't much of a celebration. The Lakers lost their fourth straight. LeBron was booed after missing free throws and even made an embarrassing gaffe letting the ball roll out of bounds. Legendary LA sports columnist Bill Plaschke said the whole thing felt like a milestone for a visiting player, adding that he hopes when LeBron passes Kobe, he does it on the road. LeBron has lost LA, and I think at some point he's going to figure it out. And I think there is a chance. I'm not going to say a high chance, but let's say 30% chance that he figures it out and says, you know what, I need to get out of here. I need to go to New York or someplace else. Man, they booing this dude on the night he passes Jordan. That would give me pause and something to think about.
Man, if you're the king and they're booing you, it just makes you want to just shine that crown even brighter next year and just stick it to them. One, as an LA native, I will say, in terms of our fandom, at times we can be fickle. If you're a winner, we love you. If you're not, boo. But we'll be right back soon as you start winning again. And that could be a 2-game win streak for the Lakers. It's just all of a sudden they're back in. Shaq got booed. Kobe got booed. They boo the greats here because they're just so spoiled with success that right now they don't like this. He's not part of the Laker family. I told you he never had LA. And this is now them trying to respond to that and say, we told you this is still Kobe Mamba country. But LeBron will respond to this next year. This team will be better.
But on that night, the night you pass MJ, how can you get booed on that night? That night, you push it all aside, just like the night where Kobe had 60 against Utah. Hey, forget that. We know it's your last game. You push it all aside. But on that night, you get booed?
Yeah.
I don't understand that one. I think LeBron, when he had the towel over his face, he was crying in regret. Like, what am I doing here? I get it. There's a lot of good things that are happening off the court for him. But he's thinking to himself, like, this is the moment. This is where I'm at right now. I look up, I'm down by 20. I think that was a hard moment for LeBron right there.
Well, I mean, fans got to understand, all people got to understand, the Lakers don't celebrate individual awards. They celebrate championships. Yeah. That's what they used to. They're not used to that, but at the same time, as a player, coming from where he's coming from, that's a big reward for him to pass Michael Jordan. We all grew up idolizing him. So for him, I understand what he's feeling. That's a big feat for anybody coming from where he come from, and that's how I see it.
So if you got booed on that night, how would you feel?
None of that matters. Yeah. None of that matters to LeBron. Where I come from, nobody. I'm here today saying I'm past my idol in the NBA and scoring. What everybody doing in here does not matter to me.
All right, let me ask you, if it doesn't matter.
It does not matter at all.
If it doesn't matter, then
I did this.
The next time, let's just say he's here next year, he's going to pass Kobe next year. He's going to do that at home? He's going to be okay with that? Or he's going to schedule it where he's like, you know what? I better do this on the road.
It's going to be the same way because the Lakers fans don't celebrate individual awards. This organization is known for celebrating championships.
Sure.
Yeah. They didn't celebrate Kobe that much when he scored 60 points in the last game.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man, they threw him
What
over
do
the
you
way.
That was a goodbye.
Yeah. It was a great game going out, but after that day, it was over with.
Sure, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they celebrated the next year.
Yeah,
And then to bring Kobe back and bring him on the court, we're going to celebrate that game. You know what I'm saying?
He's right
It wasn't
there.
that big.
Dude, he's got just passed Michael Jordan.
But both of those, if you
big,
look at
man.
it, he did that in a Cleveland uniform or Miami uniform. In the video montage, they showed that, and they felt that. And then you're talking about MJ. None of that is LA-centric. So them people are like, all right, respect for you, but it's time to do for us.
LeBron tweeted out 2 hours before the the game or an hour before the game, oh, wow, it's going to be unreal.
Yeah.
At this moment, blah, blah, blah. You can't tell me it crossed his mind. You know, I might get booed tonight.
You know what? Translate those boos. Y'all boo?
Hey,
Man, hold on. Hey, all right. LeBron, why he was really crying is because not only did I pass Michael Jordan, the guy I idolized, but I wanted a positive influence from the hood, from where I'm from. And MJ became a billionaire from nothing. And now not only have I surpassed him in terms of points, but I might surpass him in terms of off the court. And me,
No, that won't happen.
He
Go
might.
ahead.
Look, it's in LeBron's head. Stay in the zone. He has accomplished so much. And the LA fans, when you boo LeBron, think about what he's been through in all the adversity. That boo is not going
It
to
was
penetrate
easy. Everybody
him.
to be passing Mike.
Thank you.
No, we know it's hard.
All right, okay. Well, don't make it seem like he didn't do something that's great that's never been done.
No, it's
one's saying
unbelievable.
that, Stat.
No,
Well, so what are you saying then?
I'm saying, why the Lakers fans not accept him for
I just
for
told
the
you,
greatness?
because you know that. They
Doc
don't celebrate
Rivers got a
individual
standing
awards.
ovation for Dirk Nowitzki at the Clipper game. That's the
Because
Clippers, though.
because Dallas not used to winning, they're celebrating Dirk. This all they have is Dirk.
Yeah, the Clippers
Lakers
do.
celebrate
We
championships.
ain't got that. We ain't got them championships.
Okay, but let's move to LeBron.
Right.
Not in terms of how he interpreted and how he feels about being booed on the night.
He doesn't care.
What do you mean?
He
The
doesn't
guy, I've heard the
care.
guy for years say, "Y'all take me for granted. I've spoiled
Look,
y'all."
we all rather get applauded than booed,
On the
but
night
when
I'm
you boo
passing
me,
MJ,
I ain't tripping.
On the night I passed to MJ,
The whole
I'm worried about
crowd
what you saying.
boos you.
No.
You've been saying for years, "I've spoiled y'all. Y'all take me for granted." You celebrate yourself more than damn near the media celebrates
He
you.
does.
Everything he does, he tweets out, he Instagram posts. You know, last night I wiped my butt for the 100th time. Jordan only did it 88 times. Blah, blah, blah. Celebrate this, y'all. And people go, "Oh, God, that's great. That's great. You wipe better than anybody." You telling me this man isn't bothered that he got booed?
You gotta be.
Man,
Come on,
he's not,
Shaq.
man. He's
What?
not.
You
He's
got?
not,
You don't
bro.
think so?
He's
No,
not.
and
Not-
put yourself in his position. Would you ever let those people, as Grandma said, don't let them steal your joy, baby.
No,
In
okay.
that moment, I ain't letting you steal my joy, and I just got
I hear you. I hear you.
I hear you.
But I hear you. That's why he put on his post. He winked his eye to the haters. I wink to the haters. I hear you, but I'm not paying attention. I just passed Mike. Why would I give that energy?
You know why your grandmother gives you advice?
I don't understand that.
Because you need it. Because she knows you're hurting. And she's like, "Baby, don't let nobody steal your joy."
Right.
That's why that saying is out there. And that's
Yeah.
why she said.
Yeah.
And so trust me, LeBron James's mama today is sitting there, "Baby, don't let him steal."
Nah.
That boy, he drank so
boo
much
him.
wine last
Man,
night.
come
passing
on, you
joy.
kidding me?
What joy?
You know why it's depressing, right? It's depressing.
Hey, that's what
You
I
can't
say.
tell me somebody that does all this social media posting, "Look at me, look how great I am."
When we
He-
shoot Space Jam?
I hear you.
he
Space
looks
Jam?
just.
Yeah.
He
There's
looks
some truth to that.
Gotta worry about what
When we
who you born? Them same people born gonna be at the movies in a couple months. I don't want to hear that.
300 seconds.
I want to hear that.
300
worried about that.
All right,
But he's not worried.
They wasn't booing courtside. You know why? Because they close to him. Can I get a selfie?
Jack, you on Facebook? You on Facebook?
No, sir.
Have you know what Facebook is, right?
Yes, sir.
Your high school, so you know. You
Everybody's
just,
on
You just
Facebook.
turned
Everybody.
40. And there'll be some 40-year-old that you went to high school that's on Facebook right now, putting out pictures of how great their life is. And you would see it and giggle. I know how terrible things are for you. Your husband just left you, or your wife just left you. You're 30 pounds overweight, but you're trying to put on this big show. When I look at LeBron's social media feed and all the dancing and all the love letters to Kyrie and all the celebration of himself, it ain't no different than that person you went to high school with who's faking the funk on Facebook.
You know what? You know what's different? He's famous. They ain't.
Yeah, he actually doing it.
And did they pass
Actually,
MJ?
they faking it.
This
They
shit.
faking it
He
till
ain't
the
faking it.
I'm about to be a billionaire. I ain't faking
Nah,
nothing.
he's not faking
If
it.
every billionaire or millionaire was happy, y'all would have a point.
But that's not.
but we
can be
talking about LeBron,
They
though.
can be just as unhappy
LeBron
as
happy.
the person with no money.
You just
LeBron
went
happy.
lane hopping. You went from objective to
Nah.
subjective. How can I tell if the dude's happy? He dancing at practice and they losing. He look happy to me.
He going up to the game with some peanuts. Nigga,
So
some wine, man.
it's like a show to me, and y'all are kidding yourself. Any one of us, if we broke any kind of record and got booed on that night,
Okay.
we'd be like, "What?"
All right, to your original point then.
please,
If you
the record
can't find
still broke.
happiness on the Lakers in LA, where you gonna go and find that happiness?
Yeah.
Go with Whitlock.
Look,
Where?
I'm finna tell you.
Okay.
Let me tell you what the downside is for LeBron. The risk is coming back next year, because this season has been a disaster. We all in agreement.
Yeah,
Disaster.
yeah.
Disaster. If he comes back next year and they don't get any free agents, the narrative's going to be, don't nobody want to play with LeBron. He's toxic. Rather than face that outcome, go to New York, point your finger at Magic and Pelinka and Jeannie Buss, and that they jacked it
But
off.
why? The
What's the chance
Lakers
of that
dealt with
happening,
that
though?
before.
The
Kobe,
chance of him not getting any big-time free agents?
Somebody else coming there? What's the chance of that?
No, they're going to get people.
Come on, man.
They're not going to strike
what if
out.
they don't?
No,
So
they're going
what?
to get somebody.
They gonna get
So
somebody.
who? Kobe?
gonna get Jimmy
anybody?
Butler.
They're going to be better than they were this year. Just say that.
I say that. But
Just
if they
say
don't
that.
get anybody, the Lakers have dealt with that before, even with their greatest player. Kobe didn't attract free agents, and he rolled with that narrative.
But the
That didn't hurt
question,
him.
at the end of the day, whether they booed him or not, the record's still broke. He's still past
See, you
that.
keep jumping.
I'm just saying, it's
And then you
regardless.
keep trying to distract.
No, I'm not
from the
distracted.
issue
He doesn't
that
care.
LeBron has
the record is still broke.
Okay.
No, but it's not what he thought. Like, if it was in Cleveland or Miami, it'd be a different story. You have to admit that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the way just the way he did it,
came
and
here.
he might not care.
All this is premeditated with LeBron.
He might
knew
not
this.
care. He might not care. But if it was in Miami, come on. If it was in Cleveland, the way it would have went down, it's a little
You don't start
disrespectful to
missing
him.
that,
No
you don't
question.
start-
But why y'all trying to balance the response from people there versus him and his work ethics and his accomplishments? Like, think about your own individual accomplishments.
yeah.
Like, if you make the Pro Bowl and nobody cheers, and you're like, all-star.
So
You're
I'm
like,
supposed to be mad that it happened
man.
because the fans booing me?
No,
Yeah.
that's not-
No.
That's
but
not
the
what I'm
fans should have not booed him. But on that one day, if you don't like what's going on, just for one day, don't boo LeBron.
The point isn't whether the fans should have booed him. It's about how LeBron is interpreting this disaster. And every day it just keeps getting worse to me. And it's clear now, like, damn, I may never win this fan base. This might be one of the biggest mistakes of my life. This might be worse than the decision, hosting that announcement on TV and how that blew up in his face. This can be 10 times worse than that, coming to LA. And I think he's capable of realizing that. And last night was just another little sign. This was a mistake. And you start looking, oh, what's my exit strategy?
Whit, you got to keep perspective. Success is not linear. It's not a straight line up. You know what happened? The day of his injury, Golden State, when they beat them by 20 up there, where was LA's love for LeBron then? Pre-injury. Now, they've lost 14 of the last 19. Of course, everybody going to be looking at you sideways. But if I'm LeBron, I keep that moment and I capture in the bottle. And then next year, I come out fully loaded, maybe another free agent, or this squad. Doesn't matter. We still know that this franchise is going to love me because Christmas Day, they were in love with LeBron. Look what they did to Golden State.
Have you ever broke a record? Huh? Have you ever broke a record?
No.
Well, when you do, I have. And if you break a record, the last thing you think about is the mistakes you made. Last thing you're thinking about.
When you're getting your brains beat in,
You
by
just
Denver,
beat past Michael Jordan. I guarantee you, the
you
last
just got
thing he was
your
thinking about
brains
was
beat
a
in by
mistake he's
Denver.
made.
You're a laughing
The
stock.
last thing you're thinking about is a mistake you made when
You're
you
letting
passed
the
Michael
ball
Jordan.
roll out of bounds from full
I'm
court.
giving
you ever
y'all I
seen that
got.
before?
I'm
You ever
giving y'all
seen
I
that
got.
before? What happened last night? He let the ball roll out of
And
bounds.
you also
half
seen the
court.
times he did that and made the shot? All right. He's made the shot too. I'm not going to win this one.
That doesn't. I've never seen that before, Stat.
But he does it a lot. And he's made that shot a couple times.
All right, Stack, let's give him a little ammo. LeBron did miss his first 4 free throws, his worst first quarter percentage ever.
He's
Like,
the worst free throw shooting star we've ever seen.
Yeah, but he also set records for himself
Wilt
in the
Chamberlain,
negative.
man.
Shaq.
He's Wilt Chamberlain. I've been saying it for years. He's Wilt Chamberlain. Steven Jackson and Brian Scalabrine are
Hit him,
back.
hit him.
You ever been in this segment?
Twitter off.
Twitter off.
What are you
Twitter
plugging
off.
here?
Best-selling author.
You can let me have this book?
Yeah,
Favorite
you get them
segment.
slides. I got you.
Yeah.
Show antisocial.
Never shut up. I like that.
Never listen.
Why you didn't put it back up?
Our social media manager, Darnell
you, Ed.
Smith, is here. He's repping me and you, Mark.
Well, he got a lot of thoughts. All that food.
Next one, both of y'all both be eating.
All right, Darnell.
Yes, sir.
Popping on them Twitter streets.
We're going to start off with Zion Williamson, who we all know suffered a knee injury after his Nikes exploded on the court. Well, yesterday, Zion was on Instagram Live rocking a full Adidas jumpsuit. You know, Twitter was going wild with people debating whether or not this was a sign he's already negotiating with Adidas. I personally didn't see this as a big deal. Do you guys think he's just trolling Nike here?
Not at all.
No, he's raising up the stakes. He's like, don't think I'm just gonna sign with you because I went to Duke.
Yes, sir.
You gotta offer me a big deal, and Adidas is interested as well.
There you go. I mean, when you're in college, you broke. Supposedly. So if you broke, you gotta just wear what you got.
What that mean, Marcellus?
That's
supposedly.
I
Depends
agree
on what
with you.
school you went to.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Growing up in all those camps, you get all that Nike and Adidas gear. You know,
Yeah.
he's too young. He ain't throwing that stuff away. That's something
No,
he had to
he doing that on purpose.
Nah, he's not doing that on
Oh,
purpose.
yeah.
Nah.
My shoes exploded. I want y'all to come with that big money. Not
don't
10
think he's
million.
negotiating?
I want
that's
100 million.
Actually, that's somebody who's on their phone and took a picture of him. He just talking. He ain't telling nobody to do that. And that's on somebody else's phone.
And that happened
he didn't
weeks
have nothing
ago.
to do with that.
Yeah, when did it happen? The shoe exploded weeks ago. Why don't you troll immediately if you want to get
That's
it?
a sweatsuit he had from one of them Adidas camps.
Say it.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah.
Stop.
How come he ain't wearing big baller stuff, man? Huh?
Nobody wears
big baller.
They don't sponsor camps. You know how much it costs?
They don't fulfill orders either.
They shoes don't
Cold-blooded.
explode. They shoes don't explode. All right,
Allegedly.
Darnell, what's next?
To the NBA, the drama just keep piling up for my Lakers. Down big in the fourth quarter, Ray John Rondo was seen sitting in a fan's empty courtside seat, multiple spots away from the Lakers bench. Fans on Twitter noticed it and let him have it. Rondo was asked about it after the game and said he doesn't see what all the fuss is about and that he's done it maybe 8 to 10 times this year. Y'all think Twitter's overreacting or is this a big deal?
When it rains, it pours. Boy, losing, boy. They find anything when they start digging, don't they, Stacks?
I'm talking about if he had different shoestrings, somebody would say, wow, he ain't matching with the team no more. See what I'm saying? Anything.
Yeah.
When you losing, they nitpick on anything. Like you say, he's done it before.
Yes.
It makes sense. There's no seats on the bench. He sits on the floor half the time.
Yeah.
Because there's no seats on the bench.
I think
Everybody's
there
gone.
was a seat right next to LeBron.
Everybody's gone, though.
I was pretty sure there was a seat next to LeBron. He wanted a different angle.
He was sitting next to 2 Chainz and his family, though.
Yeah.
He got the
Oh, breaks.
assist. He got the assist to LeBron to break the record, too. So they're not beefing.
No.
They're not beefing.
Well, here's what I found interesting, to be quite honest.
Here we go. Here it
Whitlock.
goes.
I'm glad you mentioned two
Pick it
Chainz.
up. Whitlock special.
Two Chainz and his wife, or whatever. I just don't think it's a pro. And 2 Chainz, I don't mean no offense. I
What?
did listen to some rap or go to the league last night. I'm not trying to figure. Why is the child sitting on the front row? That's dangerous to me.
Oh, that is.
No. That's Deuce. Deuce needs to be there. He's soaking up game. If you know Deuce, he's one of the roughest little kids in the world. That ain't nothing to him. You want your son to have that experience.
Yeah, I give you
want your
that.
son.
But it is dangerous
That's
because
that's
they roll
Deuce.
into the
Ain't-
stand.
That's the roughest kid you ever met.
he ain't
That's
taking
Deuce.
LeBron head on.
Deuce ain't born that. Deuce good. Trust me, Deuce good. Don't worry about that.
Don't play with Deuce.
I can't argue. I don't know Deuce.
Deuce good.
What is he,
I'm just
Bam
telling you,
Bam?
Deuce good.
He Bam Bam?
Deuce a real.
He take them hits. He take them hits, huh?
Deuce a real.
All right, I'm gonna leave that alone.
Deuce a real one.
Deuce may want to come at me. I don't want no smoke with Deuce.
I want those problems.
I don't either.
Grease fire.
Right, Grease fire, dude.
All right, Darnell, what's next?
Oh, man.
Moving on to a hot topic online. Rapper Travis Scott seems to be going through a rough patch with his billionaire girlfriend, Kylie Jenner. Word on the street is Kylie found multiple overly friendly messages with the women in Trav's DMs
Delete.
and accused him of cheating, right? Trav obviously denied his allegations and then deactivated his Instagram account to prove his commitment to their relationship.
Man.
Do you guys think that this is going to be a new trend for couples?
I'm just saying, if my girl was a billionaire, I erase everything.
Exactly.
I would get my tattoos removed.
Do what you
Whatever
gotta
need me to do. If
You
you're a
can have my
billionaire.
whole phone. I don't even need
What?
that.
A billionaire? Man, whatever you need me to erase. Social, anything, I'm erasing it.
You want my name changed?
Whatever you need. The whole phone.
I stopped
Travis
rapping.
Jenner. Hey, first of all, this ain't no new trend. If you ever been in love, you don't think straight. And if you ever been caught on that edge,
Yeah.
you got to do some things at times. Don't act that tough, y'all out there.
Right.
And it's a smart move, but it's also weak sauce. You can't remove the temptation out of someone's life. People always, I heard my homeboys, oh, my girl won't let me go to Brazil. Why? You can cheat down the street in Idaho, dog. Like, I mean, what we doing here? Oh, you on Instagram? No more Instagram. All right, baby. Now I'm going to the post office. I'm going to post office.
I disagree.
Them same DMs gonna pop back up.
Man, come on.
You're not old enough to remember. I'm just telling you. I agree with Travis's move here, man. This technology has made cheating easier, and it's
no
made it
question.
more temptation.
No question.
So get some of the technology out of your life, some of the access.
No, he's
He
right back on.
activated.
He's
He
right
got back on
I
the
was gonna
same
say,
day.
The same DMs gonna pop
He's
right
back-
back
he's
up.
back on. He
at
good
it.
now.
Oh,
He's
he's
back
back
on.
on. He did it for one day. He's like, baby, I
He's
love
a
you.
rapper. He's a rapper. He gotta be on social media.
Yeah, he was like, all you need it, baby. Look.
It's like getting in trouble. Like you got to go to your room for a day. That's it. All right.
in
With no
timeout.
Instagram. One day.
Yeah,
Not even a week. One day.
That flight to Brazil, delayed. He still got on it, though. He's still in Brazil. He back in it.
All right, Darnell, I think it's time for the question of the day. Take it over.
It's Darnell. My guy. My question of the day.
My question of the day. 285-pound You all know a lot of athletes, professional athletes specifically, have came from tough backgrounds. And so my question for you guys is: does growing up in the hood or just growing up struggling better prepare you for the real world?
No.
Thank you.
Why not?
No.
It could.
I mean, in certain ways,
Yeah.
it helps. It helps, but in certain ways it helps, but it don't get you over. Right. You know what I mean? Perfect example. I came up hard, and and getting to the NBA, I had to go through a lot of stuff. And growing up prepared me for that. But a lot of things, when I got to the NBA, that same situation in the area that they taught me hurt me too. So it can go both ways.
I will say that the hood, 99% of that stuff, as John Singleton showed in Higher Learning, you have to unlearn.
Yeah.
Only the strong survive. So if you make it out of there, you are tougher. But let's be real about the hood. It is decaying life and destroying lives. And
Crabs
only
in the
a
bucket.
few get out of that situation. So I look at it like we're post-traumatic stress, and there were so many things I had to recalibrate once I got out of the hood. Because, put it like this, you don't believe me? How many people that make it want to live in the hood still? You know why? Because of the circumstances, because of the surroundings. Yep. It's just an unfortunate place, man.
I know this. And watching suburban basketball right now with little kids, it's hurting those kids, man.
It's hurting my sons.
Those kids got to go to the hood if they want to learn how to make it to the NBA.
Right. They're tougher, huh?
Suburban basketball is the worst when it comes to. So if all you guys that have kids that play up in the suburbs, you're doing your kid a disservice.
I had a number of talks with NBA players at All-Star Weekend last year about our sons, because we all had our sons with us. And when they all going through the same thing, they scared to shake each other's hands. They growing up, they don't have that toughness in them. They don't have that will to win, the will to fight to be great like we did. We had to go through a lot of odds. Everything is handed to them.
One thing, I was a teammate with Ray Allen, and he had this conversation with me. He said, the hood is different than the way I grew up. He said, and I don't know if this is true, that it's crabs in a bucket. Once you're trying to get yourself out, he said, someone's going to try to rip you back down. True or not true?
Against all odds. Like he said, it's against all odds.
I don't think that's 1,000% accurate. And Marcel, your point about, no one wants to go back to the hood, I think a lot of that has to do with...
No, I said live.
Live.
Yeah, not go back. I go back all the time.
Got you, right, live. I think a lot of that just has to do with the violence. And it's not... so because when I think of my childhood memories, and I can remember my cousin, my auntie and them, they lived in one of the hardest projects in Indianapolis when we was kids. And my memories of that and going over and staying for the summer, some of the greatest memories of my life. Nothing but fun for me as a kid. And then I think about me and my father living in a one-bedroom, 400-square-foot apartment my senior year of high school in the hood. I don't really have bad memories of it. It was.
Yeah, you did, because you extracted the violence out the hood and said, other than that, it's great. Guess what? You extracted your highlights from your memories and from your upbringing. Let's talk about the complete picture. I mean, I get what you're saying. I have an amazing upbringing. It was a beautiful experience, but boy, was it hell to pay. And I went through a lot of stuff, and I'm just saying I can't piece out and parse what was good from bad.
But I'll just say this: my father had a successful bars that he ran most of my childhood and into my adult life. He built a brand new home in the hood. He never wanted to leave his people.
Yeah.
My grandmother.
And and so and kept his business. And his business, the Masterpiece Lounge, he had one before, Jimmy's Bar, J Bar J. Those are literally my favorite places on earth. Nothing I love more than being at my father's bar in the hood.
And I understand it, because I built my mom and my grandmother's house. She wanted me to build a house, buy the lot next to her house in the hood where we grew up, and build her a big house there.
Yeah.
And I say it to say, some people are not afraid to go home. I'm not afraid to go home. Some people, I love everybody, and I don't have to worry about getting shot or nothing like that. But some people are scared to go home for other reasons. People begging, all kind of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just expecting you to owe them something. So it's different reasons for not going back, but it's a true statement. Most people that make it out the hood and they go back, they end up getting killed at home.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I agree with you. My grandmother they get so comfortable. My grandmother, like the mayor of Compton before she passed, she didn't want to go anywhere no matter what you offered her. But then you got to also understand, she's almost like grandmother to end. Like, they just so comfortable. Now you go back in there, man, it's tough. You could go, but you better not live.
Aren't we avoiding it? The question, though, is, does it prepare you for the real world?
It prepares you. It can help you and hurt you.
It can help.
Yeah,
you.
and you guys, all three of you guys would say like, it prepared me for this.
I'll say
Some people know, but you guys say yes.
Stack's comments, and I believe this, and I don't mean this disrespectfully.
No.
If there was a little less hood, you could have been an even greater NBA player.
Well, I don't blame it on the hood. I blame it on my decisions that I chose to do. I decided not to work out while I was in the NBA. I decided to party instead of going get extra shots because I was still good enough to play with that. So I don't blame that on the hood. I blame that more on myself.
Steven Jackson and Brian Scalabrine are back with us. Let's move to the Celtics, who won their second straight last night, beating Sacramento on the road just a day after beating Golden State. Boston won last night without Kyrie Irving, whose various frustrations have been a big part of the team's issues this season. But another big NBA personality, Charles Barkley, is taking issue with Kyrie's mood swings, saying, quote, he's going to make $40, $50 million a year for the next 10 to 15 years. He's already won a world championship. He's in the movies, but he's got to be one of the most miserable people I've ever seen. Wow.
Goodness.
Is this criticism, is he out of bounds here? He said he doesn't know Kyrie that well. I don't think he's out of bounds, though. I do think Kyrie does a lot of complaining and whining and just seems to just be the glass is half empty guy.
I think he's out of bounds based on his own words of, I don't know him that well. So if I only get doses of an individual, I can't add that up and say that I know that the glass is half full or even half empty. I don't have enough in there to even know the content of what we're talking about. So it's messed up, man, because I know people like Kyrie. You remind me a little of it.
Kyrie?
A little of it. You suffer no fools. And Kyrie's extreme. Kyrie, think about it. You're 25, you got movies, you got money, you got all this stuff going, and you don't like small talk. I don't like low-level thinking. I'm a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar person. Right. If you know Kareem, I know Kareem, we know Kareem, he is a nice dude. However, come up to Kareem with the mundane, the same old, hey, basketball player, man, you ain't gonna get nothing out of Kareem. And you may misread that as miserable because he is not trying to connect on that low level. Max Kellerman, my boy, is like that. Like, some cats just don't like that small talk, that little stuff. And Kyrie's just built for that, and I respect it. I don't think he's miserable.
And you're right. You said it first. He don't know Kyrie. So, obviously, he's not 100% on his judgment, but I know him. And what I can say with is he loves basketball, and that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about really nothing else. Kyrie wants to be one of the greatest players in the game. He is so focused on the game that the other stuff does not matter to him, especially during the season when he's admitted to, okay, I got to carry a team. I really didn't know. LeBron, I'm reaching out to you, telling you that I know, now I know what you was trying to teach me. He's been through a lot this year, and he's trying to lead this team the best way he can, along with people, all the questions every 2 minutes. Where you going? Where you playing it next year? I'm just trying to play basketball, lead this team the right way. I talk to him. I know that's his attitude.
You know, in life, in this business, while you're a player, you got to be who you are. I think Kyrie's an introvert. I think he's in an extroverted world. He has this Uncle Drew thing, but I don't think it's for him like the way that I would treat it. Fun, me just messing around, Uncle Drew. I think it's like an art form for him, almost like an actor would treat my role, and I'm gonna like dive into this role. Everything he does it with like a passion behind it. Like Jack said, he's all about being the best basketball player he can become. He doesn't want to answer the mundane questions about, well, you guys went on an 8-2 run, what happened in there? He doesn't want to do that. He was a higher level thinker, and I think the NBA, the 82 games, the whole grind of it, dealing with the media day in and day out, I think it bothers him.
But now, you cover the Celtics, so you know them better than most of us. I mean, at least see them all the time. Is there some credence to what Barkley is saying? Is there something to the whole
he's up and down all the time, and I think the league, like I said, he's an introvert in an extrovert world. I think the league just wears him down. If he can have it his way, and let's keep it real, a lot of people. Barkley wants to throw out there, well, he's going to make $40 or $50 million. Kyrie, if there was no rule, he'll make $40 or $50 million and never have to deal with the media. He deals with the media not for his benefit, it's for the benefit of the entire league.
And that's why
they're going to pay him no matter what because he can hoop.
And that's why LeBron's so special. They expect everybody to be like LeBron. LeBron is different. He's the only person that can sit at halftime and tell you everything that happened in the first quarter. He don't mind doing that. Kyrie's totally different. They love the game the same, but they're just different people.
Your point about there's some similarity between me and Kyrie because I talk to our guys that work with us every day. They all know I hate small talk.
Yeah,
I don't.
see it.
Hey,
I know
how
you-
you doing?
'Cause it's
no,
fake.
No, I don't need that.
Right. And you can misread that.
But what I've had to learn in my career is like, oh, I better learn to deal with some small talk and do some small, because it's important to other people and it's important to connecting with them. And so,
But you're
Not
in a
walking
different
into a
world.
game.
You're
Not
in
walking
different
into a
world.
game with-
We're in a relationship business now doing this. But before I was in this business, I was in the
he's
ball.
in a relationship
Oh,
business
no,
in that locker
he's
room.
No, you know what? That respect he is. He could command some more respect out of his peers. However, when that ball goes in the basket, when it's going between his legs and you can't do anything about it, he is putting all his onus on. I am a baller and baller primarily. Whereas in this business, you could be the greatest at what you do broadcasting, but you still need somebody to kind of co-sign that. Who does he need to co-sign this game?
Gordon Hayward, Brad Stevens, Marcus Morris, a bunch of guys on that, Jaylen Brown. Uncle Jimmy's here to help us talk about our approval ratings for Charles Barkley. Uncle,
We won't eat.
who authorized that shirt?
Hey, man, first of all, hey, I'm representing this life, boy. Hey, I'm all about that life, that Culver City life, baby. That's what we doing out in here, man. That's how we running out here, boy. It's that Culver City life,
Culver
baby.
City, I'm talking about their T-shirt. Who authorized that shirt?
Who you think authorized it? The leader of the African American movement.
Don't say it.
Huh?
Who?
The symbol, formerly known. Come on, man.
Who? Ness?
Hey, and I got one for you.
No.
We got to do. Hey, they ain't got the 9X yet, but I'm getting you one.
Wait a minute.
I'm getting you one.
Luckily today, because we just talked about Charles Barkley, we don't have to show you a highlight. You were clearly watching our debate about Charles Barkley and Kyrie Irving. What's your take on Charles Barkley?
Well, first of all, man, whether you know it or not, Chuck and I go way back. You know, I did some. I mean, I spent some time back in Alabama back in the '60s. It was talk back in the town during them days that I could have been Chuck's pappy. When they first saw Chuck play. But based off our game, you know what I'm saying? Game was similar.
What game? Monopoly? What y'all talking about? Scrabble? Trouble? Uno? What game you talking about?
My hoop game, Marcus. Hey, man, Uncle Jimmy, I ain't no joke on that floor, man.
Oh, yeah.
On that court.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, man, I had several Division I offers, boy. You better recognize.
What happened?
It's real talk.
I can see you being Spud Webb's daddy, not Barkley's.
Okay, so now you got jokes now, huh? Okay, keep setting up here. You want to get on some of these jokes with him? I tell y'all what. All right, you're going to be missing all your fronts up here. Okay, keep cracking these jokes.
Look, man, get on top.
Yeah, focus, brother.
What's your take on Barkley?
Real talk, man. I think Chuck makes a valid point, man. Kyrie, all these athletes making all this money, sitting up here complaining about everything. They're talking about they're miserable. Yeah, they miserable, all right. Ain't got no reason to be miserable.
Money don't buy happiness, Gusto.
Spoken by the man who got the lounge sitting behind his Olympic-sized pool that's actually about the size of my apartment, but I know you don't want me to talk about that, do you, Merciless? Let me ask you a question. Did your good looks buy that house? Or did you pay for it with money?
A little bit of money, a little bit.
See, you and my nephew, both y'all living high on the hog. One of y'all look like y'all done damn near ate half the hog. But you living on it. Huh? But I'm sitting up here living in a little bitty old one-bedroom
Look,
apartment.
man, pay your dues.
Yeah.
Pay your dues.
Hey, man, what I tell you, pay some dues on these, all right? Okay, y'all better pay me. Don't pay me. Watch what happens. Hey, boy, okay, let Uncle Jimmy hit this free agent market if you want to.
It's a market.
Okay, boy, you had me sitting up here with Charles and Shaq. Talking about Kenny, Shaq. Hey, okay, you had me on cracking jokes on the set of the Inside the NBA. Okay, keep it up. Say I won't.
You won't.
You won't.
Boy, you got a big and hard head. Okay, look here, let me clear this up so everybody know this. You can pay Darnell in T-shirts. Hype video. Ooh, Dad Darnell. Dad Darnell. Okay? No, I mean, you better have my paper. I'm telling you. Yeah, I got a question of the day for you. Hey, Hey, if Jason and Marcellus don't get Uncle Jimmy's paper right, whose ass gonna get kicked first? Jason or Mark Ellis? Y'all gonna mess around? Boy, y'all gonna mess around and have me calling the African Americans out on y'all. Hey, man. Hey, let me tell y'all something. I take knees, man. I don't get on them. Y'all better learn the difference. I strongly suggest y'all do that. This could be a deal breaker. All right?
Yeah, I like that. I take knees.
All right.
Wow. Hey, let me get my approval rating for Charles Barkley. I got him in GOAT status, 88, 23 job performance, 21 all-time greatest, 19 character. Chuck threw somebody through a window. Authenticity, 25.
You said the same thing. I mean, that throwing somebody through a window, that was the only thing I got on you, Chuck. Other than that, you're a GOAT, man. You're amazing.
Let me say this, though, Marcel. I got a problem with your rating. How you going to have him at a 25 job performance?
On
He does the same thing we do. He ain't on our level.
No, he hired him. He beating us. We gonna catch you, Chuck.
Kenny,
He killing us right now.
Hold on, Kenny. I want to say
hilarious.
something, Kenny.
Chuck's hilarious, dog.
Kenny, wait a
We
minute.
gotta go.
Wait a minute.
Hey, everyone. Jason Whitlock here. Thank you for listening to the Speak for Yourself podcast. I want to tell you about another podcast from Fox Sports that we're very excited about. It's Waltrip Unfiltered, featuring two-time Daytona 500 winner Michael Waltrip. Michael will be speaking with the biggest names in NASCAR each week and discussing the biggest storylines in the sport, like Daytona 500 winner Denny Hamlin. Episode 1 is available already. Subscribe and listen to Waltrip Unfiltered right now. Let's get the show rolling.